Hello, Mr. Rivaldo. The objective is always the same. However, I have got big news for you guys, and that big news is right there. That is the big news, but the main objective of the day, as always, is to grow as chess players. So please go and check out the merchandise because we now have officially launched, baby! So excited, so excited. So excited. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what do we want to do today? What we want to do, boomshki baby, is game analysis, but maybe I will play a rapid game today. How is that? Philet, who is the... I saw him who you are referring to here? Oh, Mr. Guy, welcome in. How are you going? Long time no see, you beautiful human. Long time no see, you beautiful human. Look at Hikaru versus noobs. I don't want to call them noobs. As a matter of fact, Hikaru is a noob for playing there. I feel like I want to play a rapid game. Ah, that was risky Moverino sending his game to the wrong account. Classic. Okay, let's play a rapid game. And let's make it 15-10 and let's explain our thought process. That's gonna be the starting point of the stream today. Oh, that's great, Tana. That's great. Yeah, I agree, Sweet Blues. Can I do it against the 1000? Yes, of course. Every day I'm doing that. Hello, Parker. Well, exciting news. The merch shop has launched. It looks like we're not getting a game, so I will also look for a 10-0. Can we do 10-2? 10-5 is good. Let's do that. Well, I don't really count this as a speed run. I tend not to publish on YouTube what I do because I'm streaming this to YouTube. To republish it on YouTube would be lame. Yeah, as I'm climbing the ladder, it becomes thinner and thinner, the field that is. Okay, I will give it a go to 10-0 then. That's the best I think we have. So I've got a 10-0, a 10-5, and a 15-10 search open. And we have a game, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, let's get going. So, Sicilian, yeah? No questions there. We're going to attempt a Sicilian Sveshnikov. And we are playing instead against a Rossolimo. Parker Chess, I very much recommend you to do just that. That course is fire. Judith is fire. What else is there not to love? Okay, so d3. Now here, typically what white wants is to play the pawn to e5 move to separate these pawns, in particular c5, from the rest of the pack. So in preparation for that, knight f6 would be awful, because that walks into it. And in fact, we are going to put the knight here and here to challenge the e5 pawn push. And in fact, when we can, we will play e5 ourselves. She is an absolute unit. In Australia, if you say about someone that they are an absolute unit, that means that they are very, very large in size. So now my opponent hasn't challenged me with regards to playing e5, and so that is what we are going to do. e5, then d6, bishop e7, castles, and play for f5. That's the pawn break that we want. Hello, Jez! Jazz is strong with the sub. Thank you so much, buddy. d6. Now the pawn is protected, and this is a very timid move. They are looking to play bishop a5, which quite frankly I can't care less about, and knight a5 is also meaningless as far as I'm concerned, so I'm just developing, castling, and I want to go f5. That's the plan. And if you look at strategically what's going on, maybe they want to play b4, by the way, but none of the pawn breaks that white can do particularly concern me at the moment. Now they are planning to play f4, and that's the first time when they put a pawn break on the map. However, that would come at a price of them having to face two bishops with two knights. And as such, I am quite happy to see that. That being said, I also am somewhat tempted to consider d5 here. But d5, knight e3... yeah, let's just go. Let's just go. Yep. Let's take this. Let's take this. And now we have got choices again. I can break with f5, which I think is a very good move. But I can also break with d5, which I also think is a good move. And since chess is played well when it's played in the center, we are playing d5. Why not d5? I don't know at which point are you asking, buddy. I'm sorry. I wish I could go back to that. Knight d2. Now, there is loose units on the diagonal already that attract my attention. So I can go here, I can go here. And both of them look very good. I have rook b8 to tickle this, which I really like, by the way. Yeah, I will do this because I want to provoke b3 to make as many dark squared problems as possible. Yeah, so we provoke this, and now I feel like there has to be some kind of tactics. Probably there isn't any, but this is loose, this is loose. Okay. My number one candidate is bishop d6, expecting rook f1. And then maybe f5, ef, bishop f5. And we have a very, very pleasant position there. Could go bishop f6, let's say rook b1. But then I don't really see a way to further my position there. I don't want to utilize this too soon because I feel like it's cashing in on an idea, something that club players do too often, by the way, when there's nothing to be gained. So I'm just going to go bishop d6. Yeah, we all do that. And the best thing you can do is just to trust your intuition there and go like, well, if there is no forced win, I shouldn't force it. Yeah, the classic case of farting. Yeah, you don't want to force it because then it can turn to poo. Yeah, I didn't like bishop f6, bishop c3 because I can't explain to myself what it does. And when I can't explain to I mean, it threatens to take and take e4, but it was so easy to handle. But maybe it was a plan, actually. I'm not going to brush it off with yeah, nah. But f5 seems most logical to challenge the center again, develop my bishop, and then we'll take it from there. I just did fillet. I think I did. Hands up if you have already pulled the trigger on any of the merge. I want to be very proud of you. Yeah, now the opponent is in the think tank. Scrumptious, then don't announce it. Queen h5, what the hell is that? Wait, what? That doesn't look like a legal chess move. So now we have got tactics. Let me show you one. So after takes, let's say they take back, I take back. They take back. I have queen f6. That attacks the rook. And I'm also threatening to play queen d4 to check this down. And when they have a check here, I can just shield it up with bishop f8. This looks definitely sus. Okay, so after, actually, wait. Take, queen f6. They have rook d1. Which still looks pretty freaking dodgy, by the way. Yeah, I feel like I need to take this, or I should rather revert this. I feel like I should take this. There's also queen a5? Maybe. Nah, this feels better to me. By the way, I also have queen f4 here, hitting this maybe that way, but that doesn't feel as... Well, actually, no. This hits this and this. But the check is a bit obnoxious. Should I add g6 to the equation? I'm a bit short on time. Yeah, I may have played it a little bit too fast in retrospect. I'm not happy with this check. Could address it with bishop e6, but then after knight f3, e5 is on. Yeah, I'm not happy. c4 take check. Ooh, king kick queen here, but then there's knight f3 again. Okay, I need to play. Feels better. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, bishop e6 was the alternative, but after knight f3, I felt like knight g5 was an annoying threat. e5 push was on the horizon as well. No, queen f6 was always met with a check. That's why I didn't play it in the end. Wow, I got very hungry all of a sudden. I might have to take a very quick break very early on to get lunch. Queen f3. Okay, I need to play fast now, which is not something I like to do. I don't mind the queen trade with 2 bishops against 2 knights. The endgame is going to be a glorious scenario. EDC straightens my pawns, and now the knights can't come to f3. So overall, I'm happy that this was played. If I had another move now, I would likely play queen h6 to, which probably I should have played here, by the way, already in retrospect again, and then bishop e6, because that way I could have even avoided the endgame. Because queen h6 hits this and this, so knight f1 I guess is forced. And if I had then played bishop e6, yeah, so now e5 is, well, ish. Okay, I still want to do this though, because d2 is hanging. So if e5 I might be able to take, and pick off a pawn. But then rook f1 is a bit odd, but then queen check wins the knight. Right. Maybe. Maybe I should have played it faster earlier on. Oh, Mr. Rotella in the house! Hello! But guys, be sure you follow Mr. Rotella on Twitter, among all things. Okay, so take here. I just realized that they have rook d1. I feel like this bishop is worth more than a pawn. Okay, rook f8 is also playable. Queen e2, and just pull the bishop back. Yeah, I wish I had done this queen h6 move before the knight came to d3 though. So take, rook d1. I can pick off c2, but the knight c6, knight e7 check ideas. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's go. It might be bad, but I feel like I need to do something. Now, what I completely didn't take into consideration for absolutely inexplicable reasons is to take this. I didn't even consider that move at all. Mostly because I'm an idiot. Yeah, well, I'm not suggesting that Tinder, wow, Freudian slip on steroids, is the place to be. Twitter is what I meant. But I couldn't think of any other platforms where Mr. Rotella is very active. Are you still streaming, Tony, here and there? I don't like the way I'm playing this game, by the way. Queen g3 and my dark squares are really weak. If I had time for 2 moves, 3 because there is even check on. Yeah, I don't like this. Maybe bishop f5, bishop e4 is gonna be the way. But again, 97 check is such an ass. Yeah, I don't know what I will do against queen g3. Curse. Maybe I'll just take c2 and hope for the best. Yeah, that's not a good idea because check. The carry in the house. I feel like I'm not harsh with any of my students, but I do treat every single one of them differently, yes. Yeah, queen g3, I think I would have been clearly worse there. Now queen f2, king key, bishop f5 still not playable due to 97. 97 is scary because it always is followed up with a check on the back rank one way or another, and it also trades my very good bish. See, now I would love to go here, but then there is check. I'm gonna lose this game on time, by the way, unless I come up with something super sexy, super quick. Okay. So check, and the problem is that no matter where I go, they can check down the queen. Yeah, I managed to lose an unlosable game here. But this is why, yeah, I don't like I find it very difficult to play good chess and explain chess at the same time. No, not at all. No, the opponent is not sus at all. I was ahead 90% of the game. Not at all. No, don't say that. Yeah, like queen d4 check was there too, no-brainer in my opinion. Okay. Wait, what time control is this? 10 minutes. Okay, there's no point. Okay. That was a really shit game actually by me. Jesus, 78, 78. That was a shocker. So here so d5 I'm guessing is the move if I missed anything. No, f5 right away. I did look at this, but I thought but after f4 there is an isolated pawn there. Wait, so what if takes and f4? I'll just take like in the game and 2 bishops. Okay. I'm not very convinced then about how bad this was, but I'm looking at a segment of the game where I just played blunder after blunder after blunder. So, shout out to Yees. Apparently, bishop f6, rook b1, bishop c3 was the best course of action here. And then after rook here, everyone sees the next move, which is g5, yeah? Obvious. The fuck is g5? Yeah, I do need increment. I will never play on stream longer time control. Oh, wait, it's the wrong cut. Longer time control games without increment. That was the last one. Okay, so we missed that. Jesus, my stomach is grumbling now like mad. So Effie was correct. Oh, I had bishop takes here. And then if takes queen f6, rook d1, then queen d4, and I just win the chess game. Okay, so I was a complete idiot here. Like, this was about -4 already there. And he, the engine wants check the line that I saw, and apparently just queen back here, and we have got a completely superior endgame. Okay, so I cocked that one up too. Yeah, and I did call it. So as soon as I played queen h6, I said I regret I didn't do this. And after knight f1, I just wanted to play bishop e6, which is not even top 3 choice of the engine. The engine wants mysterious stuff. I want to play this, but it's not good. So this is what the machine wants. Here, rook d1, and then queen h4, double threat. I mean, I had, yeah, that's a bit out there. Or immediate queen h4, and I can't take because of check. Now that is neat. That is very neat. Okay, fair. Oh my god, did you eat that, guys? My stomach just went like... Yeah, so I told you that queen g3 and I'm in trouble. Apparently the only move I have here, the only good move is either rook f6 or d4, so not only then. Queen d3 check, yeah, king h1, and this is level. d4 was my move, which I looked at, but I didn't understand the purpose because I can't go there, right? Okay, so the threat now is king g7 followed by bishop d5. That's fair. That is very fair. After queen g3, why is bishop d7 bad? I don't think it's bad, I just didn't like the check. Like, this is what in general I wanted to avoid at all costs, right? I am gonna eat right now, but that shouldn't prevent you from submitting your game. Yeah, this was dog pool, but I had no time. Yeah, it was a very depressing game, to be honest, because I was winning about 98% of it. And I still played absolutely idiotic. No, I was looking at bishop h3, but at no point did it do anything. So I decided to dodge it. Anyway, I need to get some food, guys, because I'm feeling nauseous already. I will be back in a minute. Professor Tikari had a chess lesson with me not long ago where I showed him a beautiful Kubel study, which I'm going to put up for you. While I'm heating up my food. When I'm hungry, it hits me sometimes so suddenly and so hard. Can you hear my stomach grumbling? It's fucking hilarious. I mean, I remember the position by heart, but I want to make sure that I don't mess it up. Here we go. Okay. Why to move be a rock star? Be right back. Alrighty, Volcarinos, we are back. We are back. Alright. Let me see what we cooked up. What am I eating? Lasagna. 97 doesn't accomplish anything because after bishop e7, black is happy. Oh, hello, Courtney. Yeah, Tony has had a few very awesome YouTube videos indeed. And I remember recently you posted that awesome King's Indian game in the Smyslov with King d7. That game was freaking epic. Actually, if you chuck in the PG and Tony, I would be very happy to analyze that game on stream. Courtney, I haven't missed too much. I was a bit inactive last week, so we are coming back to streaming in earnest today. And Mr. Tanner is after a game anal as well. It was a bullet game. No way. You absolutely murdered that guy. Thank you, Tanner, for the 15 buckies. And if you are new, guys, including Courtney, check out the merch shop. Hello, Mr. Landau. How are you going? Okay, this is proving to be quite difficult. Mr. Landau, you are on the money, but you need to tidy up your move order because King b3, King c5 is not good for you. Oh, the King Charles is in the house. The Cavalier, haha. The idea of c6 is not to get rid of with the weak pawn. Ironically, the idea is to create some kind of a self block so the king can't escape. Indeed. Indeed. And now we have got an incredibly paradoxical scenario where neither the king nor the bishop can move without losing the bishop. Try it. Okay, I feel somewhat alive now that I put some tucker in my face. Thank you, Balakwa. Thank you, thank you. By the way, guys, FYI, the shop is now running a 2 weeks sale. So if you want to get cheap shit, now is the time. Yeah. I agree, Tony. It is pretty epic. It is pretty epic. And the main reason why all of this works, by the way, is the pawn on g7. That's the best part of it. Yeah, the main idea is that you can't run because you walk into this. And that's actually the main line. Although I really do like this variation too, where you play a4 and now it's mate threat, and if they dodge it, then this check shouldn't be able to win the piece, but it does because of the pawn is on c6. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Santa, baby! Santa, I can't wait to see it on you, buddy, when you're wearing it. That is so exciting. That is so exciting. Sweet Blues, the problem is that you don't have time. So after king b3, you play g5, yeah, or g6 is irrelevant. I play a4. And now you don't have time to move the bitch because it's a mate threat. So you need to run for it. And then comes the check. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get some too, but I literally launched the shop before I clicked stream. So I haven't even had time to look at what the heck was going on. This is diabolical. I guess diabolical is what you meant, and I totally agree with you. What genius came up with this? A human called Leonid Kubel. And quite frankly, in the level of complexity, it is a reasonably basic study. I don't want to sound, you know, like I know it all, because I don't. Testament to that, the shit game I played just before. But it's not a complex study by any means at all. Like when it comes to endgame study difficulty, I would rate it about a 2 out of 10. Alright, Tanner, you sent me a game analysis. I will log out from this account now after successfully embarrassing myself with a stupid game. But it just goes to show that I'm human too, and I'm happily owning that. We're gonna log back onto the main account because I suspect that you sent it here. Yeah, Tanner, the game that we are going to critically analyze now. Alright, Tanner in the white trunks, Viking 5566 in the black trunks, game analysis mode on. Let's go. Yeah, Tikari, technically I think it is indeed the way to go that you can pick your colors there. Oh, Tanner! ED5. Well, the store can go up only once. And yes, it went up today. So you play ED5 and then you have the nerve to send a game like this to me to analyze. Well, we are done. On to the next. We are done. On to the next. No one likes the exchange. Like, why would you do that to yourself, man? That is the saddest thing you can do. Okay, let's go. C3. I guess. Yep, yep. I would have castled here. But bishop f4 is a fine playable move here. But yeah, castles is so much more logical because you definitely want a castle and bring the rook to the e-file fast. Whereas where the bishop goes is unclear. In fact, there is a very strong case to be made for wanting to go to g5. Yeah, it is easy. That should be the first very, very serious sign that you should have been playing it. That it's easy. Nothing in life that is easy is worth doing. Well, most things aren't. c4. Back, yeah. And bishop d6. Yeah, legit. I quite like, by far and large, the opening has been going decently for us. Especially if we consider the fact that this is a exchange French. Hello, Tommy fucking Shelby. Thank you. Yep, legit again. Whoa, hello. Yep, very good. Dude, this is a great game by you. Very good. I mean, fucking hell. Most 1500s can't play chess like this. This is quite good. Yeah, I dig that too. By the way, your opponent is playing pretty decent chess too. Yeah, it definitely is. Thank you, Tommy, by the way, for the 5 gifted subs key. Yep. Much appreciated. I would have considered g4 as well, by the way. And then here you have two options. You can keep the knight on e5 by taking this and then queen g3, or you can take this. So this was certainly a possibility. Wait, what? Isn't there some take and check stories here? Hello? Oh, tenor! Bloody hell! Okay, so... Oh, Professor Yusim! Okay, what I am not sure of is that why don't we go full on greedy and take this? Forcing the king back, then check again. Recreating the same scenario with a pawn fewer. Because now if king here, then you can just go here or here, so the king has to go back, and then we take again, right? So you are virtually in the exact same line, minus a black pawn. Why would you not do that if you can? I didn't realize that. Oh, wow! Okay, that's interesting, given that either move is going to be met by 98. That's pretty wild that they spent 12 moves in a position where there was literally no difference. Oh! Oh! Ah! Give me a sexier move than this. Ay, 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 ay. Ah, Mr. Rotella, of course you will never miss something like that. Hello, friends. In case you are in the merch shop, if you are not sacking your queen, are you even playing the game? That, my friends, is now a very much purchasable business. Does anyone know how to pin the... Oh, I do know, like that. Who cares, dude? Like, you're taking half of the board. Like, why do you care about losing the knight? Count the dudes. Count the dudes. And you're still picking the cherries too. Entropy, thank you very much for coming in. Yeah, you should be sad because you should know from my channel and now from the merch shop too that if you are not sacking your queen, you're not playing the game. Ay, that was a pity, but OG. Dude, what a game! What a game! I mean, I would have been a sadistic animal here and I would have played this. Just for shits and giggles. But, yeah. Now, I cannot possibly fathom why you would trade queens here. Like, that is an eyesore of a move. Given that it's like mate in, I don't know, very few. Hello? Check, check, check. And then, yeah, like, even checkmate, checkmates, but... Yeah. Oh yeah, for 1500 this game was exceptionally good. But things like this irk me when we just trade queens like this. That's like, come on, man. And I get it that it wins, but hold yourself to high standards. This king has to be mated. There's no freaking way that this is not mate. And you had no time issues either that would have justified to kill the game like this. Alright, I think overall this was a pretty good game. A few small corrections that I would like to throw out there is that I definitely would have liked you to castle here rather than any other move, because this allows you to be a lot more versatile in terms of your responses to the various black moves that might come at you. Maybe here it would have been worth considering trading the bishop and then knight e5 and back it with f4. What do I like against the French if not the exchange? Literal everything. Literal everything. But given that it seems to me that you have got a bit of a liking toward attacking chess, you could just play the Milner-Barry Gambit per my Chessable course. Yeah, b3 generally is a plan, by the way, an available plan, but black can easily get out of dodge by just taking b3 rather than trying to maintain the chain, which is not doable. Oh! Guy with 50 buckies! Hello! Okay, this is gonna be a busy afternoon, ladies. This is gonna be a busy afternoon. Hello? All right. All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. So, yeah, but other than that, I reckon Tanner played an absolutely fabulous game. Absolutely fabulous game. Okay, I need to check out now Mr. Guy because he's sent us 7 tons of money. Oh wait, Tanner sent another game. Very quickly I will have a look at this too. Oh no, it's the same. Wait, what? Did you send me the same game twice? Yes, but how come that it has a different link? Wow. Anyway, on to Mr. Guy. Let's go. 4-night Scotch is way better than regular Scotch games. No. No. 4-night Scotch is the most boring opening there ever was under the sun. You should play literally anything else but that piece of poo against d4, e5 as far as I'm concerned. Like, the actual Scotch leads to some really fun and exciting positions for white. The 4-night Scotch, in strong contrast, leads to let's have a draw in a boring as hell position. Yeah, nah. The only way to turn this into a chess game from here is to play bishop a5. But I really don't like this for white. Scotch, I approve of. 4-night Scotch, I think is just batshit boring. I really do not like it at all. Anyway, I mean, it's a fundamentally sound and totally fine opening, but I find it really, really boring. Okay, Mr. Guy, yeah, exactly. 94 is my recommendation in my course, and that line is fire. Yeah, that line is actually fire. Right, let's go. So d4, e6, f5, yeah, our friend is chucking out the Dutch as always, very good. Now, here, what is the most precise move if you really want to hammer home the concept? No, this is a Dutch structure, so yeah, confusing here the terminology. The Bogo Indian can lead to Dutch structures. The Dutch doesn't lead to Bogo Indian structures. The Bogo Indian is not a structure in the sense that the pawn formation is not unique to the Bogo. And if you put a pawn on f5, then it becomes a Dutch setup. No, this is a Dutch. Yeah, bishop b4 check is the very natural move here to play, because after bishop b7 castles, this guy often struggles with finding a good spot. So a lot of Dutch players like to trade that bishop off before allowing white to castle out of... Okay, now definitely bishop b4, yep. You did this already in another game. I don't know why we are rushing this trade. Why don't you just castle? I mean, likely you are going to end up taking anyway, right? But there is a chance that they will provoke you. There's absolutely zero harm in castling first, checking out what your opponent wants to do, and then determine whether you want to take it or not. That is totally fine. Yes. Right, let's continue with the game. So we went in, that's fine. Yep. By the way, here too, I would have probably considered castles as well, but that's fine. A5, good. Yeah, this is good. I quite like most things about this opening. Small inaccuracies, but on 1500 level, this is totally fine. Yeah, very good. Very good. And now rook f6. Rook f6 or nothing. Played. Very good. Very good. Bishop b2. Rook g6. What? a6. Okay, I thought we were going to g. Since this appears to be an easier target to pile up on. No? What am I missing here, folks? Isn't this the more logical pile-up? Mouse slip, yeah. Okay. We went rook h6. Now I guess g5, g4 is also a thing. So, yeah. What you generally want to consider is d5 in these types of positions. This is usually the move that makes you go like, oh. Doesn't look that bad though, because you have knight d5 here without any problems. Okay, let's move on. Take, good. d5 too late. e5, very good. Knight d2. We don't want to preserve that bishop. Also, is this playable? Chat, what do we think about bishop g2? Express your opinions, please. Yeah, I would rather not go on Discord now, buddy. It's a bit too heavy. If you don't mind. Don't worry, I won't be too inquisitive. That sounds to me like a very inconclusive line. Yeah, so the idea is that after bishop g2, king g2, you don't want queen h4 because rook h1. You want check, but a lot of people would give up calculating this here because of the queen f3 defensive measure. By the way, for fun's sake, I would like to throw in that rook h3 already is a perpetual check here. But there is a very, very good move here, which was proposed by Yeesh, knight f6. And now knight g4 check is very, very unpleasant to hold. But we must conclude that no one can find this idea, because after queen f3, knight g4, king h1, apparently the best move is rook f8, and we're just casually playing chess with a full piece down. It sounds a bit far-fetched. So easily second best is bishop d3. You didn't like rook h1, but that doesn't happen, right? So after check, there is no rook h1 here to speak of. Oh, I'm guessing you looked at queen h4 only and not the check. But that would be silly. Do you want to play fillet e4 here? That's nothing, man. Rook g1 and I walk. And in fact, you just opened yourself up. So no. Anyway, let's move on with the game. Knight f6 played. Now f4 is becoming a bit annoying again because the bishop is coming to life. Max, welcome in, buddy. Indeed, it is a great time to learn. You know why? Because any time is a great time to learn. Yeah, I would have waited with this move until this bishop got challenged. So once again, you play a move that you think you need to play, I think perhaps a bit too soon. Why don't we just reroute the queen? And when we get kicked, then you have an option of whether to trade or defend. Chess fish. I'm very happy for you. I have no idea what that is, but you do you, man. Yeah, well, you played e4, and now you're telling me you didn't like it. Interesting. Okay, e4 played, no biggie. f4. Okay, do we have tactics, ladies, in the house? Because as soon as this lands, my first gut instinct move is knight g4. And if yours isn't, are you even playing the game? So what is our judgment, folks, on knight g4? Because I am quite happy with it at the moment. Ragav, thank you, buddy. Welcome in. Buddy Toby TV says he likes me. Of course you do, man, because you know what's good in life. You know what's good in life too? The fact that you can buy my merch now. That is also very good in life. Yeah, that's what I thought. Knight g4, take queen h4, and on your bike, baby. On your bike.
Come on your bike.
That's it.
On your bike.
That's it. This move also gets a boomski.
Boomski.
Is this a question, Yish? Yeah, and then you just take this, G3, and then Matutski. Yes, that's correct. So our good friend Guy here missed the golden opportunity to cash in on his earlier rook h6 like a trooper and prove me wrong and prove him right. Tony G, mate! Of course, mate! What else? What else? Tony da G. Totally the Tony G vibes there. Well spotted. Okay, I'm going to move on. Any framework to follow? No, not at all, or well, very little. It's pattern recognition combined with a fair bit of calculation in the background that you don't see because you don't see through my skin and my skull. But by far and large, it's pattern recognition, calculating ability, and just a general sense of what is right and what is wrong in chess, which comes with a lot of learning and experience. So we played knight h5 instead, which I don't like. This is where my friend dropped the ball big time. I already gave you a lot of grief, guide, for not using your time, and I want you to observe that in the most critical moment of the game here, we spent 20 seconds. Yeah, knight h5 is sad face. Let's go. g4. That's absolutely bananas that they would even think about playing g4 there. Hello, what? And we didn't think that taking would be the way to go? Knight g4, Sergeant. Like, where were you for the last half an hour when we discussed that this was a forced win? Anyway, I don't understand why we're not taking this. Knight g3 looks promising as an alternative too, by the way. But hello, take. Take, and now literal every move should win for black. Queen h4 wins. Knight g3 probably wins. Knight f4. I like a lot actually knight f4 because that will allow you e3 at a given time. When we need it most. Like, what are we even doing here, man? It's mate. Yeah. Yeah, us not taking g4? What? Did we... Hello? What happened here? After 3 minutes of calc. Ay. Whoo, boy. Queen g4, you mean rook g6 winning the queen? I don't think so. I really don't think that that was the problem. I really do not. I don't know what the problem was, to be honest, but I don't think it was that. I'm waiting for Guy to say something. Yeah, this is inexplicable why you wouldn't open up fuzz on the side of the board where you're attacking. It is very random. Yeah, rook g, and now after g5 in strong contrast, the whole king side is closed, the rook is dead, the knight is hanging, and we have no attack. It's madness. We went from completely winning to completely losing in a half move. I was seeing Ghost is not gonna cut it if you want me to attend to your problems. Like, what Ghosts? Tell me the line that made you not want to do this. That's what is going to be productive. Yeah, I'm very confused, confuzzled. Yeah. Okay, I will wait for his answer, but in the meantime, I'm gonna move on. Yeah, I mean, we're completely, absolutely gutted here. It is so sad. Look at it. Had they played rook g2, like, look at this rook. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, man. Like, show me physical pain by setting up a chess piece, a chess position. Right there, bruv. This is what physical pain looks like when it's demonstrated on a chessboard. Ay, 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 ay. I mean, that was the most tragic loss in a Dutch I've ever seen, considering how winning it was. Jeez Louise. Sheesh. I mean, King S7 part was irrelevant. Yeah, that was very, very painful, man. That was very painful. Okay, my good man is still typing up the answer why he didn't play what goes he saw. I don't know why it takes so long, but in the meantime, I'm gonna go on to the next game. Mr. Damien, how are you going? But dude, like, what pin? I'm so confronted by this. Where is this? Oh, I apparently managed to close it. Wait, what? I thought I left the position. Yeah, like, pin. But, like, you want to go in here. Open up. Like, pin. What is your next move now? You're not even threatening to take. It's guarded. What queen coming in? Like, dude, that loses the queen. Hello? Bravsky, like, queen was not coming in. That is exactly what it is. The queen was coming away, or going away rather. It was dying a miserable death. Yeah, that was really, really sad news. My general impression, Mr. Guy, about your chess. What? HG, Rook H2, Queen F3. Those are all white moves, dude. I don't understand what you're going on about. Like, I take this, you take back, I go here, it's mate. So, hear me out here. Most times when things go sideways in your chess, it comes down to two factors. One, you don't calculate, or you do, but it's way too shallow, and it's based on ideas, like vague ideas, not on precise moves. Not precise moves. Like, you have typed already a lot, and I'm still yet to hear a line that you calculated here with regards to HG, and then any knight move at all. I'm still not getting any love in terms of I calculated this line, it was winning for white, that's why I didn't do it. This is the type of thing that you need to do. Until you do that on a regular basis with confidence and accuracy, it's gonna be struggle city. Okay, let's move on to next. So we are white here. Okay. Lucky I just bashed the 4-knight scotch to death, and now here we are. Ay, 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 ay. Now e5 here is no bueno, friend. Bishop d3 is your move. So bishop d3, that's your chess move here, not e5. Now we are already clearly worse. Yes, buddy, that is a pretty obvious question and answer, right? That if you want to calculate, you need time. No, I meant e5 here is bad. I feel like we've seen this game before, no? Yeah, you shouldn't. Bishop d3 is the line. And then d5, and then take, and then castle, castle. This is the main line. As boring as it gets, by the way. Now, in this position, I would personally castle without too much hesitation. I don't necessarily dig c3. What are we going to do if they go back here? Well, I guess I will find out. Okay, friend. So, my problem here with what's happening for white is that we decided that it was time to launch a kingside attack. When your king is uncastled, your bishop is not developed. In fact, it can't even develop next move. So we are about to lose this game due to back rank fest. So why don't we first complete development, castle our king, and then take care of the rest of the game afterward? Is a very, very valid point in my humble opinion. Oh my god. Okay, so here is my question now, Mr. Guy. If you don't... Well, I guess we are in a pickle already, but... Yeah, castles, I guess, loses to bishop a3, yeah? Yeah, that's it. That's it. And so... Now you have to play b4. And this is what I talk about in a lot of my YouTube videos, that you should never ever look like this in an opening after 13 moves, especially with white. And it's your doing. You did this to yourself. That you can't castle, your king is stuck forever in the middle, this bishop can't move, you lose holes everywhere, no plan, nothing. Why is this happening to you? Let's break it down. First of all, we forgot theory and we played e5. Fine. We then here have a chance to tuck our king away, trade off pieces, and by the way, God forbid, go into this endgame, which doesn't look worse at all for white. If anything, a slight touch better, because the 3 islands versus the 2. But no, we refuse the trade, and then we just randomly lunge forward without any goal purpose whatsoever. No. No, Rekhok, no. No. Absolutely not. So this is the airy-fairy nonsense that leads to really, really bad decisions. That, oh, I shouldn't castle here because there's a semi-open file here. And? Like, why is the semi-open file all of a sudden making me go scared? And so we create this own problem for us, which is not a problem at all, since there is absolutely nothing happening on the B file. And in order to prevent that problem, we create a 10 times greater one, which is that now our king is stuck forever in the middle. And we didn't trade the pieces. So now black is actually going to attack a lot more. This is a textbook example of the club player's mind. That, ooh, I better not castle into the open B file, which, by the way, castles brings a new piece in plus secures the king. Instead, I will play totally meaningless pawn moves, like 4 of them, keep the king in the middle, weaken both sides of the board, lose all hopes of castling, expose my king, and not develop. And all of this appeared to be a better choice than castling into the very dangerous looking semi-open B file. Really? Really? It's like, come on, man. You have a pimple on your forehead, you have internal bleeding, someone cut off 2 of your limbs, and you go like, shit, this pimple is a problem, man. We need to deal with that. I don't understand, like, and again, this is the textbook case of people not calculating lines and telling stories to themselves about the position. This is a textbook case of that. Like, tell me how black exploits the B file by telling me an actual line. Go. Alright, you go rook b8, I will play queen e3 to open up my bishop. You take, right? I take back. You go queen b4. Oh my god, mate threat. Okay, what if I defend it? End of story. White is better. Funnily enough, my bishop can develop, my king is safe, the d5 pawn is vulnerable, all of this is fine. I do not recommend bishop a3 on account of that hanging for free. I don't necessarily think that queen h5 is a bit cocky. That abandons a lot of things. Like, now bishop a3 is an idea. So is taken queen b4. Like, it is a thing. It needs to be valued and evaluated correctly. And the correct evaluation is that, yes, black can do this. And if I play correct chess, it does sweet F all. And what we did instead is irreparable damage. By the way, textbook YouTube material. And the other way how you know, by the way, that castles is the way to play here is that all other moves look shit. Like, fine, don't castle. What do we have? Right? Like, your natural chess desires here is to take care of this, this, and the 2 big boys in the corner. That's what we want to do. And my line did exactly that. I fixed the king, I brought 1 rook in, now the bishop is good to go. I'm 1 move away from completing everything I wanted to do. Look at what we do instead. Pawn move, pawn move, pawn move. Same bishop moves again. 5 moves spent, every single one of them made our position worse. Noticeably worse. And what really makes me go nuts, as you can tell, is that people are happy to enter this rather than facing the B file, where here you are dead lost, and in that scenario you were completely fine. Still, yeah, okay, to be fair though, no, this is actually credible because it brings the bishop out, so this is of value. D6, yep, 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 yeah. And now if you castle, then, which you did, then I need to say that, awesome, at least we managed to not lose the game in the next 10 moves. You're dead lost, all of this was our doing, but at least now we steadied the ship to just a lost endgame slash early endgame scenario. Yeah, early endgame scenario. Dhruv Kayati, I'm pretty sure you can tell, kind sir, that I'm not exactly playing games at the moment. Yes, I know, which is another thing that I absolutely love, by the way. When people join a channel and the first thing they do is that they challenge the streamer to a game. Like, don't you think that there are people here who have been watching me for years? I really don't want to have a go at you, but this is such a common occurrence and it irks me to no end. It's like the same as you go into a shop, there are 50 customers, you go up to the counter and you go like, I want that. And there are 50 people in the shop looking at you like, bro, are you for real? Like, and the rest of us were not here before you, waiting for service? Like, I'm genuinely, like, just don't understand what goes through people's head when they do that. And again, I don't want to have a go at you and I don't want to lose you as a viewer, but like, hello? Isn't that common sense and courtesy? Now, I know that you weren't, and that's exactly the point, that I know that you weren't, but I want you to think about how it comes across. I gave you an example too. As I said, I'm very happy to have you here, and I don't want to lose you. I don't want to alienate people. Yeah, I think you do see that that would be, I think, a nice thing to do. Alright, let's move on. And yes, whoever said that Black was playing a good game, I second that. I like that too. As in, I like Black's play here too. I wasn't quite feeling this whole structure thing because now it seems difficult to break white on the dark squares because Black has a decent blockade. But overall, I think we are not looking good here. I mean, we're just down a pawn for not a lot. I don't even want to critique this because at least you're trying to stir the pot. Now, actually, I quite like both sides. I quite like both sides chess here. Especially for the rating range we have here, it's good shit. I like that too. Like now there is purpose behind our moves, and I always like that. Yeah, sucks a bit. I was thinking maybe h4, and then you're threatening f5, f4. F5, f6, excuse me. Yeah, h4 and then bang bang, yeah? That looks like we are going somewhere. Maybe. What do we think, folks? Yeah, quite likely f5 is still gonna hit, but at least then you have h5, h6 again to have some love down there, right? So I consider this to be a better way to stir the pot. Let's move on. You might have rushed this check because it doesn't yield anything immediate and there is no way black can stop it. So if you actually went let's double up again before you go check, when you say, guy, that you never know when is it okay to push for pawns in front of your king, if you don't mind me hammering this really hard, this takes us back to your ultimate problem, which is that you like to create these concepts as barriers. Like, you want to know a scenario when it's okay to move the pawns in front of your king, and you want to know a scenario when it's not, and then you will just apply whichever is relevant and off we go. Chess doesn't work like that for the most part. There are some generic guidelines which you can apply, but none of them are 100% definite. You then need to calculate, and the final decision on all of these things are based on what you calculate. It's not based on one shouldn't move pawns in front of their king, so I don't do it. Bollocks. There are times when you do. And there are guidelines as to when to do, but I'm very reluctant to give those because most people use these guidelines to avoid calculating, which is the greatest problem with your chess. It is that every time we make a critical decision, it's not based on calculation. It's based on, I was scared of the B file. That is not chess thinking above a certain level. It's great that you recognize that it's a semi-open file and that there is a potential attack there. That's about 1200 level chess. On 1500 level chess, you then ask, how do they generate said attack? And the higher you go, the more questions you create around that concept, all of which is answered with precise, concrete lines. So once you graduated from school 1200, every decision you make should be based on calculation. You find yourself in time trouble, play longer games. No problem. But by the way, that's a contradiction that you're saying to me there. Because if you only calculate when you sense tactics, that means that you hardly ever calculate, which questions of how the heck are you then getting into time trouble? That doesn't add up. That does not add up. Yeah, I'm not excited to trade queens here, I'll tell you that. Or not the way we did anyway. Okay, so this is a textbook example for my endgame course. This is just about the last move I would have considered playing here. Like, if I ask you to find the worst possible square for the rook on the board, this would be very high up on the list. Yeah, I'm trying to think about a worse square for this rook than e3. And I'm not coming up with goods, man. And likewise, if I play this game with white, my next move, very likely with white, would be rook h3. Because this rook here does absolutely nothing. You are down 2 rooks currently. Right now you're down 1 rook. Now you're down 2 rooks. Why? What's the point? Like, first of all, you have a pass pawn like they do. Why don't you push it? Oh, but then they push the pawn. Uh-huh. Okay. And now where are these rooks going without you being able to take this? Hello? Thank you. And this is gonna be gone. And I'm not even going to introduce this idea because that would be a step too heavy. Yeah, rook e3 was miserable. Absolutely miserable. That's good. That's good. We'll let that go. Yep. Yep. Although c5 maybe was better. No, actually, sorry, this is a no. Because now they can go back to blockade you. You should have played c5 and go, go, go. Big boss, thank you. Guy, you don't need to calculate long lines. No, I have been looking at your games now for an hour, and the longest line I showed you was 4 moves long. 4. It's not long at all. It's just, you need to be in it. Look, in a way, I'm very proud of this game for you, or I should rather say proud of you, because you were absolutely dead in the opening, and then you put up a really good fight. Really good fight. And at times you could have come back. One more thing that I would tell you that your game is desperately lacking, and I already told you this last week, or last time we analyzed a lot of your games. When you are out of book in the openings, your opening chess principles don't exist. So from here on out, we didn't play any of these pieces for like 6 moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 moves we played from this position without moving anybody on the back rank. If it was not you who played this game, and I told you that in this position white is about to play 8 moves not touching any of these, you would tell me there is no freaking way that they are going to survive that. And that's what we did. So once again, I would like to stress this to you, that our principles are not in place at all. You don't seem to question your own decision making, especially not in the scope of multiple moves. Like, it seems to me that a lot of the times when you think about your actions, you evaluate them on a move-to-move basis. And so you don't see trends. Like, oh, this is a fine move because it's a tempo on the bishop. Oh, this is a fine move, it's a tempo on the bishop. Oh, this is a fine move, it defends e5. Oh, that's good, I had to defend the pawn on b2. And so we just lead from move to move instead of seeing a trend behind them. And when you do that, it's a lot harder to find that actually you're playing horrid chess. Because you're not doing what you're meant to. Okay, lucky last. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that you're playing horrid chess, but like not good chess, not the one that you want to play. What? Bishop c4? Okay. Okay. Wild, but I'll take it. Okay, you see, like, this is what you're doing. This is what chess looks like. Excellent. This is looking like chess. Knight e5, please. Very good. Knight takes f7, please. Very good. Bro, this is what chess is like. I give you permission to play like this all the time. Explain to me this move, please. This one here. Because for the life of me, I don't understand it. And also, while we are waiting for the answer, I will survey the chat as to what they would do. Let me check. I think I got a delivery. I want you to tell me what you would do. Be right back. Bishop g5, says Mr. Yusim. Sensible. Having said that, f6 appears to be the most heavily bolstered point in black's position. I doubt you can break them there. So it's absolutely mind-bending to me that you take this on account of this being pinned and then we move it back because we think it's hanging. Like, I don't find this a believable scenario. And yes, queen g4 of course is the move because you want to hit e6. And then your job is now to bring the other rook to e1 to put pressure on e6. Attack, attack, attack. Okay, let's go back. So we played rook f4, which by the way is also conveniently blocking the bishop. If we retreat, I would go to f2 so that the bishop can fire, the rook queen can come out, and the rook can go behind or wherever appropriate. This would be pretty much the last square I would go to. Okay, when your opponent plays this, it sends a message that they want to do something next. What is it? What is it that they want to do next? Move wise. Next move, exact move, please. Of course, push the e-pawn. That would be glorious. So they want to castle by hand, right? They want to get out of dodge. No brainer, right? So what is the least logical move for us to play, knowing that black wants to play this? Correct. So queen h5 check per played is the least logical move we can play because we are forcing our opponent to play what they wanted to play. The best move is the move that prevents our opponent from playing the move that they want to play. Oh no! Oh my god! You didn't do that, mate. Ah! Why? No! Please. Oh god. Guy, please tell me that that was a mouse slip. Please tell me that that was a mouse slip, for the love of God. Best piece on the board, hitting everything on this diagonal. And to be fair to the guy, after knight f3, knight c3 looks like a tactic. And so you have to have a fairly dominant mental presence to be able to just go like, fuck it, I don't care. So if you had seen knight c3, I will forgive you. I'll forgive you. The fact that you're telling me monster knight for mediocre bishop, although you seem to say Medicare, but I will take it for mediocre. Nah, I do know that, buddy. But this is not the monster knight, my friend, you are talking about. This is not a monster knight. A monster knight, for starters, is one that cannot be kicked. This one can. Secondly, this is not a mediocre bishop. I don't know where that came from. This is based, again, on absolutely zero calc and temporary measures of, well, my bishop is doing nothing anymore, so I might as well take it. So let me break it down for you, bro. First of all, this move is going to straighten your opponent's pawn structure, removing the greatest weakness on the board. All of a sudden, structurally, you are worse because your pawns are split, theirs aren't. Right? So that's already a very strong no-go zone. Two, this knight is not a monster knight. It's a knight in the center that will ultimately be kicked out and will never ever return. Your bishop has prospect on this diagonal. And if I want to just very quickly paint a picture for you, also on this diagonal. Let me show you something, friends, so that we are clear. And I'm just coming up with some absolute dog poo here, okay? Just work with me here for a second. This is a monster knight. What makes it a monster knight is the fact that it's on an outpost, no pawn can kick it, and it's actually quite difficult to trade it too, and it has got targets in its range. This is a monster knight. It cannot be challenged by pawns, can only be traded off. It has things in its range that are targetable, and it supports plans that we want to carry out. This knight here on d5 is not on an outpost. It does have one thing in its range, and once that's taken care of, the knight is gonna be kicked out. This bishop is not mediocre, this is a piece of poo. Has zero future no matter what. This bishop, in strong contrast, is a superb piece that has had brilliant impact on this diagonal and will do so on this one as well. Now once again, if you saw that rook f3 was met by knight c3, I'm not gonna say a word. But I don't think that was the problem here. Now, what would Ben Feingold tell us to do here? Why am I speaking like an AI? Maybe I'm not real. My wife just made me up, put me on this chair to earn money. Hello, Ray the Duck. Bingo! Feingold would say sack the exchange, except he would say always sack the exchange. Take and queen here. Hits this, hits this. No way you are from Paraguay. No way. When I want to score a I'm smarter than you point against my daughter, or rather when I want to teach her something about life, I would ask her the capital city of Paraguay. I don't think that pushing f6 is a wise idea here, Chief. Look, this is a difficult idea, but the whole position has gotten difficult, so changing the trend with an exchange sack and again renewing the attack against the enemy king seems like a very, very valid scenario. Let's have a look at this. Here. And now apparently after bishop b4, we are already scoring goals because the rook cannot keep the third rank. And now it's mate. I didn't see this. This is the engine. But the exchange sack is definitely very appealing, because you have got multiple ways to come up. And rook f6 is also a dangerous idea with bishop f8 afterward, or rook f8. Yeah. We can't go right away because then this hangs. And the irony is that even that is playable. So you can go here, check, here and here. And at the very least you score the perpetual check. Yeah? But that was rough. I'm just showing it to you because I want you to see what could have been done. Ooh. I am 100% certain that this is not what happened in the game. Bangula, thank you for the resub. Thank you, buddy. Benguela even. Latham is actually a suburb in Canberra, very close to where I live. Hello, Tom. Oh, Ray Raider Duck is the dude from the petrol station. Yeah, we caught up the other day at Melba. Fair enough. Oh, rightio. So you're in Paraguay now? No freaking way. So, yeah, guys, Mr. Raider Duck recognized me at the petrol station when I was refueling my car about a month ago, and he rocked up to me and he goes like, aren't you that chess guy? And I'm like, yeah. And so we had a brief chat, and now it turns out that he's in Paraguay. What a freaking legend. Yeah, that is rough if we miss that, my friend. That is rough. This rook ending is also going to be very rough. Ah, Al, you are in the house. You should know that there is someone on Twitch chat who every single time he comes online he says, and say hello to Al on YouTube. And that's for you. You have become a bit of a legend on your own right, kind sir. Okay, no matter how bad your life is, guy, and this is something you have to promise me, no matter how dead lost you are in an endgame, you never, ever, 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 ever trade down into pawn endings. Never. Because from here on out, your opponent does not need a brain to win. They need only hands to move pieces. Don't do this. Ever. I don't care how hopeless everything else looks. Just play something, anything. And lose 5 more pawns. No one cares. But you don't trade down to rook endings, king and pawn endings. Because it's impossible for your opponent to mess that up. Remind me of your heritage. Scan on might. Kenneth. Mr. Guy, if you didn't learn anything today but never ever trading down to king and pawn endings when you're down material, it was already money and time well spent. Ever. I really liked this game. For the first 20 moves, it was great. Here we started to play some silly stuff like this, instead of which we could have gone aggro. Here you forgot to ask yourself why that was played and what we should be doing instead, or rather against it. And the bishop trade, once again, it hurts my eyes, but in retrospect, I don't even know if I would have found the idea that after knight c3 king h1 white is better. So, as much as I really dislike this, and your explanation of why you did it was definitely not on, but because of knight c3 was on, to some degree this was an acceptable mistake in my opinion. But this opening was a lot better played. If I were your chess coach, I would make you do 90% of your chess to be nothing but calculating. And basically to train you to the habit of making decisions almost always either on principles or calculation. And even if it's principles, back it with calculation. Because currently we make a lot of poor decisions as a result of either no calculation or very sloppy, short, ineffective. You get the gist. Oh, I've got a sale on my shop, guys. I got a sale, baby. I'm so happy. I saw the t-shirt. Oh, man. My heritage is Hungarian, buddy. Sorry, I thought you wanted to say something in Australian because you are missing the motherland already. Sorry, but I misunderstood you. No, I'm Hungarian. Alright, fantabulous folks. I hope that guy didn't take any offense. I took some of his mistakes a little bit harder than I usually do. I don't know why. In parts, and I'm not trying to say this to redeem myself, but almost every game that I looked at by guy today had parts where I was very, very happy, and then parts where I was like, "Argh!" Like in the Dutch, we played decently well until we forgot to win the game by taking the pawn. Here we had an absolutely ripper opening with a very decent mid game, and then it sort of fell apart. Yeah, so the way how I do this, Tom, is that I play 98% of my moves on principle, and 90% of that 98% I back with calculation. They are not contradicting each other. They are supporting each other. Yeah, and he is very generous too, so I would be a freaking idiot to alienate him, but yeah, I might have got carried away there a bit. Anyway. Yeah, so principles and calculation are not in conflict. They are in the same team. They are on the same team. Ladies, I gotta go, but I promise we will be back tomorrow, same time. Exactly, Yusim couldn't phrase it better. Principles are guidelines to find your moves that then you need to calculate. That's precisely what it is. Alright. Take care, lovely humans. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow again. Make sure that you check out the shop. There's a lot of good shit there. And I hope to see you tomorrow once again. Take care. Love you all. Bye.
Not gonna do it. Oh, he did it. Okay, someone taught Martin some theory. Yo, ChessCoachAndras with a raid of 33. Thank you and welcome. Shout out to Chess.